Welcome to Ask Alex Anything, the video blog where you can ask me, Alex, anything you want to about religion. In this installment of my series on Rob Bell's new book, Love Wins, we continue to examine whether or not belief in Jesus Christ matters if God is going to eventually redeem the entire creation. In the last installment, I discussed Rob Bell's answer to this question. I'd now like to provide my own. Like Rob Bell, I believe that the goal of Christianity is not entrance into heaven, but rather to serve God here and now on earth. I believe this because I think God is the one who decides who is saved, not us. Herein lays a fundamental difference in thinking. There are really two different types of Christians. The ones who believe we are in control, and the ones who believe God is in control. Those who think we're in control believe that it's our decision whether or not we choose to have faith in Jesus Christ. In other words, you have all the power. It's your choice, your decision, your soul. This way of looking at things intentionally places limits on God's ability to save because the people who believe this are concerned with maintaining the free will of the individual. On the other hand, those who think God is in control believe that God is the one who moves our hearts to believe in Jesus Christ. In other words, we still have free will, but God has the power to change our hearts so that we might choose to follow Jesus. The best way to explain this point of view is through the story of my own conversion. I didn't wake up one morning and decide that I believed in Jesus. There's not a moment I can point to where I made a conscious decision that this is what I believed once and for all. For most of my life, I believed the Christian religion was nothing more than an archaic, backwards way of understanding the world. However, over time, I began reading the Bible for myself, and I realized that I did agree with much of what Jesus was saying. It was a slow process that happened gradually over a long period of time, and eventually, God changed my heart. I certainly wouldn't believe it otherwise because, honestly, the beliefs of the Christian faith are crazy. God becoming a man and dying on a cross so we might know the truth of God's love. That makes no sense. But yet, for some reason, in my heart, I really believe it's true. When God is in control, then faith in Jesus Christ is not so much about you making the right decision at a specific point in time. It's a lot more about realizing that your belief in Jesus Christ is the result of God changing your heart so that you could believe. Whether it happens in a moment or over a period of years is unimportant because the point is God is in control, not you. These two ways of thinking result in two very different types of Christianity. If you believe faith is your choice, then the goal of Christianity is to convince other people to make the right choice. On the other hand, if you believe faith is God's choice, then the goal of Christianity is to serve God, not by trying to convince people to change their minds, but by living out the gospel and becoming more like Jesus. I believe that God chooses us. We don't choose God. And if you happen to be one of those God has chosen to have faith in Jesus Christ, that's not because God wants you to go to heaven and others to go to hell. God chooses you to have faith so that you can serve God's kingdom here and now, so that you can bring heaven to earth. Ultimately, I believe living your life for Jesus is the most fulfilling life a person can lead. So I feel extremely lucky that I've been called by God to be a Christian. Whether I go to heaven or hell isn't really important to me because I have the opportunity to serve God here and now. My hope is that other people will see me and want to join me on that journey, knowing that regardless of where God sends me after I die, I'm living the best life I can here and now. A life of service for God and God's people. In my next installment, I would like to discuss why salvation as a choice is not as black and white as many people make it out to be. Stay tuned for my answers to this question, and as usual, keep sending in your questions to Ask Alex Anything or come visit us at pinestreet.org. Until next time, bye-bye.